No,
No.
no. I got to meet Debbie Vance in person last week. She says, thank you for the hug, John.
Yeah, I couldn't deliver it in person, so thank you for delivering that.
You're welcome. We had a great time. Cute little place she's at. Her fiance is a really nice guy. He makes amazing food. So we did that on our way up to Tofino when we went up to Vancouver Island last Wednesday. It was a great time. He's in the process of starting a satellite Rotary Club for, I don't remember what district she's in. Anyway, starting that and then probably a Rotaract Club after that.
Weird. Weird looking thing.
You're a vacuum.
No, actually, it's not a vacuum.
It's a very strange boat out on the lake.
One of our neighbors kind of does work for everybody around the lake. He has a couple of work boats, and apparently has decided to put a motor on a stripped-off pontoon platform. And he's playing with it out on the lake right now. I'm not sure what he's doing, except going in circles.
Making a lot of noise. Look.
I have a neighbor like that in Olympia, but he used a dock and put a motor on the dock, and then he's got a bench and a dock box. And it's a party barge or a seal transport. We had a big sea lion that was hanging out, and one of the neighbors used that. They got the sea lion on that and transported it down the bay.
I don't know
Sorry,
what
that
this guy's
sounds like
doing.
the stump cutter guy that used to hang out on Lovedale Lake. I wonder if he's cutting stumps.
Maybe.
Maybe that's the weird noise.
No,
Just a boat.
yeah, it's just a weird looking, like a pontoon, a strip pontoon with an engine on it, and I don't know what he's doing. He's kind of driving around.
I kind of figure like if they took all this stuff off of the pontoon, that's more space for people and beers.
And beers.
Oh, wait a minute. I have comfort on mine so I can sit and enjoy it.
I looked at a pontoon the other day, and I literally mean looked, right? Because I was at Bass Pro Shops and nothing there is reasonably priced. And this pontoon was roughly the same price as the house that we built in Colorado.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
It was stupid expensive. Or tri-tune, I think they call it a tri-tune now.
We have a
right?
tri-tune, yeah.
Yeah.
She wouldn't let me buy the one I wanted. It was a 29-footer with twin 300s on it. It was only 115 on sale.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I'd
I
say.
said, roughly what I paid for my house in Colorado.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And it only seats 16 people.
we don't have that boat.
So I said, she wouldn't let me buy it.
The problem
have a
isn't the
double-decker?
initial price tag. The problem is
No.
gas in it.
Well, I was single.
Yeah, seriously. But Brian, I think if you could afford to have a $115,000 boat, you're probably not too worried about the price tag on the gas, eh?
I don't know. I live in Miami, and I see a lot of people that have $115,000 boats that can't put gas in them. So
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, ours is not a $115,000 boat.
They look good at the dock, though.
It's much easier with mine. My boat costs $500. It's a 12-footer. It's a paddler.
Those work.
Runs on coffee.
I'm with you, Scott. I have a kayak, and I'm very happy with it.
So, owner. Who's owner?
Bruce.
That's Bruce?
Yeah, that's Bruce.
Sorry, it's a different computer than I usually use.
Okay. Trying to see who else we've got here. Emilio's here. Howie.
Not sure who the phone number person is.
Yeah, me neither.
Which one?
The 636-920.
Oh, they
Just left the meeting.
Someone in central Missouri.
They left the meeting anyway.
I think it might be Emilio.
Emilio's Road King.
I think that's his audio dialed in on a separate side.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I usually have the audio through my phone, and then I watch the cameras on my computer.
Cool.
Let me see if we can get that. Is that better?
You look beautiful, Emilio. Welcome.
I just need a pack of cigarettes rolled up in the white T-shirt sleeve there to look like a tough guy.
Oh, yeah. These are computer arms. See? No.
I understand that very well.
Information.
Gosh.
Oh, here is the other. This is my joy and pride of the computer world right here.
Who needs a six-pack when you can get the keg, right?
That's right.
Yep.
So we had a great bike trip on the weekend down to the Finger Lakes area in New York. Dave Knipe led the group. And for those of you who know Kenton and Christy Acton, they were with us as well. We made it there in spite of the wind. I thought going across the bridge at Burlington that my prescription sunglasses were going to fly off my face, but I couldn't let go of my handlebars because of the wind. And then when we got home Sunday, Christy and Kenton stopped in Guelph to have dinner with their daughter. And when they were paying for dinner, they got a message that their son Quinn, which I think many of you know, had been in a motorcycle accident near home. So they had to jump on their bikes quickly and make a 2-hour trip home as fast as they could go. Luckily, Quinn has a lot of road rash. His bike has been written off, but he's very lucky to be alive because he was doing 90 kilometers an hour and a SUV did a U-turn in front of him.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was a horrific ending to their weekend
Oh,
away.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good trip. We avoided the rain, which was rather in between the storms. It rained on the Friday night, so we were parked in an underground garage or a covered garage, so that was kind of nice. So, and the temperatures changed quite a bit on that trip too. It was 30 degrees at least on Friday.
Yeah.
Down to the hotel, and on the way home, the temperature on Sunday morning on my bike was down to 6 degrees.
Yeah. It was cold.
I guess I'm talking Celsius too. So I
Yeah.
think 30 degrees would be what, 90 I think Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
And 6 degrees would be probably about 40 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty well.
Come on in.
John Cram, Dave's trying to take after you because I heard that you like to take a tour down dirt roads. There was a couple points in the trip where I wanted to take Dave's GPS and shove it, you know where. He was leading and we pulled onto a gravel road and he said, yeah, it's only about a kilometer. Can you guys do a kilometer on a gravel road? So there was 2 adventure bikes, 1 Can-Am, and 3 touring bikes. And this 1 mile of road ended up being a washed out, hilly gravel road.
I did that.
Everybody made it, so it was a great road test for everybody. I'm really proud of everybody because they no issues, nothing. So it's good.
You know, real bikers can handle the dirt and the mud.
Yep.
Right. That's right.
Anybody can ride a bike on a paved highway.
That's right.
That's special idiots to go down the gravel and mud roads.
Yeah.
It's a good way to practice your bike riding skills.
True.
There you go, Jeff.
That's
We're
what you want to.
real quickly.
That's what you want to say. I'd like to introduce you guys to our exchange student, Rotary exchange student.
Cool.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi there.
Captain is with us for an entire school year.
Tell us about yourself.
Tell them about yourself.
Good evening. My name is Captain. I'm from Thailand. I'm exchange student. Nice to meet you, everybody.
It's a pleasure.
Nice to meet
Hey,
you.
and I'm sorry, I missed the country.
Thailand.
Thailand?
Yes,
Thailand.
Thailand.
Welcome. Glad to have you with us.
Yeah.
I was a Rotary exchange student too, Captain.
Oh, really?
I went to Spain when I was in high school.
Mhm.
You have lowered the average age of this group by 20 years.
At least, John.
Does that pass the four-way test? Well, Amanda's young.
Yeah, no, not really.
We've had them out on a few bike rides this past couple of weeks, and we're going to take them camping this weekend.
All right, where are you going?
Cypress Lake up the Bruce Peninsula towards Tobermory.
Taking your snow shovel?
It never leaves the back seat of the truck, but yeah. Supposed to be a nice weekend. Maybe a bit damp Saturday night, but I'm sure we'll survive.
I got a question about this, the ride in Canada next year.
Yes,
Have we come up with any dates yet?
John and I were just texting earlier this evening. We're thinking about maybe the third or fourth weekend of June.
We're trying not to conflict. I don't know what Bruce is doing with his. I'm trying to coordinate a Polio Plus fundraiser. And I'm getting help from Linda, Jerry when he's around. Who else?
Harold,
and Linda.
We can always step down and do ours as a fall ride. That's not a big deal. We've got nothing booked. We've got not other than finding out routes, et cetera. But we don't have to do it in June. Bob Schreiber was asking. He seems to have a bee in his bonnet. He wants to do this ride around Georgian Bay. So I thought I would. He asked me to do it for this year in September, but he asked me to do it in August. So I asked for a delay sort of thing until the spring. We don't have to do ours in the spring. We can do it in the fall.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. If you get on the IFMR Facebook page, I have put out some initial information. Again, it's in the early planning stages. If you'll get on that page and either that or email me, tell me when you cannot make it in June or May. I know there's some district conferences and there's a little get together in Hamburg in early June.
So that'll give me that much more time to test ride our route for next September.
Doesn't it snow in August up there where you are?
I've seen it snow 10 of the 12 months, but never in August.
Oh, good. That's such a pretty area up there. Can you promise us heavy rain?
9 months or 9 times out of 10, yes. We can guarantee heavy rain.
No problem.
Harold, were you on that one?
That's good. I'll let Michael know. Mike Atkins, he's been planning it with me, and he was actually going to take a ride out this week just to have a look around and look for hotels, restaurants, that sort of thing. But I'll let him know that we're going to postpone ours until, I'll say, September.
Okay.
After Labor Day.
For right now, I'm looking at in and around Athens, Ohio on the Windy Nine. They can be Windy Nine too. But there's some really pretty rides there, some interesting riding. For those of you not familiar, there are 9 routes that the city of Athens promotes. And that's just my first suggestion. I did that a little over a month ago, and that was some really nice riding.
We've done that too, John, and that is gorgeous down there. And I know Bruce has done that a couple of times.
And I think Jerry has too.
Yeah, because Jerry did it with us.
Okay.
Well, I did it the one time with you guys, and yours was so wet. We decided to go back.
Yeah.
The weather was nicer. Yeah.
Yeah, we only did a couple of the 9, so.
I got on a little part of all of them, but I only had 2 days, so I didn't get them all. Plus, I wound up staying 40 miles away in another town in West Virginia because all the kids were coming back to Ohio University, not to be confused with Ohio State University.
Where'd Glenda? Glenda, did you guys take, Glenn and David, did you guys take pictures of your ride last weekend?
Yeah, Glenda had some pictures. They were just, I don't know if I have anything on the computer. Do you have anything, Glenda?
Well, no, we just, so we can get them and put them up on the webpage. Maybe a little story to go with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we can send some.
Okay, that'd be great.
Did Jerry send anything about Alaska yet?
No.
Okay, I'll be talking with him a lot this next week, so we'll do something.
Okay. It doesn't have to be very long, just, you know, something and then pictures.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome.
One of the, just on the tour or the thing I did on this past weekend, one of the gentlemen that came along at the last minute, because one gentleman dropped out, so another fellow filled in. His name was Gary. This guy likes to ride a motorcycle. And when I say like to ride a motorcycle, the last bike he sold had 640,000 kilometers on it.
Wow.
This we bought. He has a Yamaha Tenere, so it's a adventure bike like mine that he bought last year. He's got close to 60,000 kilometers. I don't know what that is in miles, within the last 2 years type of thing. Guys, everywhere. It was to Alaska. He drove up to Tuktoyaktuk, did that ride, and being on the bike, this guy just goes everywhere. He's quite an amazing guy.
So that trip with you guys was just a short trip for him.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Any rides out west coming up?
I'm gonna ride the Cascade Loop on Friday.
Nice.
In reverse, though. We're gonna go backwards instead of, you know, before they shut down Highway 20 for the winter. It'll be fun. 400 miles, I'm told.
No.
That's so cool. I didn't even know they had reverse gears on bikes like that.
We were all thinking the same thing. No, everybody wanted to be polite, though.
Well, normally you go up Highway 20 over a Rainy Pass into Winthrop and then come back around and through Seattle, but we're gonna go the opposite way and go through Everett.
It's so much cooler if you're riding backward. That's just
I know, that would be a head turner.
literally.
What the heck?
There is no mercy. There's no mercy in this group.
No, there shouldn't be.
Do you drive yours using your mirrors all the time?
That would be hard, wouldn't it? No, thanks.
Yeah.
Maybe I should invent a backup camera for the motorcycle.
Do any of them have
Speaking
that?
of rides, I'm working on putting a ride together up the Mississippi River Valley in Wisconsin and Iowa and across southwest Wisconsin next year sometime. So any suggestions on timing? I'm thinking July.
Going up the River Road?
After Ohio. Sorry.
Jim, you gonna go up River Road?
Yeah. Yeah, Prairie du Chien and La Crosse and across through where Frank Lloyd Wright's Spring Green area, real rolly, very much like the Arkansas ride that we just had. Windy, a lot of Amish farms, pretty beautiful countryside.
Nice.
Fun. You're gonna do that in Wisconsin?
Yeah, there, eh?
Yeah. In Wisconsin in July for 11 years. We might have to come back for that. We haven't been to Wisconsin for a long time.
Beautiful part of the world.
Yeah, my husband grew up there. Been there a lot.
It's the land that mobile data forgot. You have to go old school and use paper maps and stop and ask people for recommendations.
It's a wonderful thing.
It is. And they get some fantastic food there. You know, California brags about our cheese and everything all the time, but it's like, no, Wisconsin just quietly does really great food.
Like
Yep.
Wisconsin cheese curds, garlic style.
Oh.
And keep the vampires away.
Just kind of like follow the Goldwings to the buffet.
There you go.
Sounds good. to me.
Bratwurst, Limburger cheese. Anyone have Limburger cheese before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good.
Oh, that's scary.
I'm mad at all you guys. I'm on a diet, so I'm not really all that excited about hearing all this cheese curd talk. I want to go out and eat one right now.
Very red.
But we serve diet beer.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, seriously?
No, no way.
Might as
What
well
is,
drink water.
Black and white.
Brian, I'm on a diet too, and my husband is actually a sommelier, and he is now in charge of a wine, beer, and cheese section that rivals anything that anybody's got anywhere, and he keeps bringing stuff home. He's killing me. Like, literally killing me.
remember moderation.
I can't even spell moderation. I've got too much wine in there.
At least you learn to enjoy the guilt.
Amanda, where is he a sommelier?
He is the wine, beer, and cheese manager for Balducci's Gourmet Market
What is that?
in Reston Town Center. One of those Rudy Snooty. It's like it's a higher end Whole Foods, if you can, if there's such a thing.
Sounds like my ideal job.
Dude, it doesn't suck. Being on the receiving end of all the great stuff, it's really great for me. I'm sure he's got all kinds of horror stories because it's still retail, right? It's still working retail, but
Still working with the public.
yep.
There he is.
Hey, Paul. Still awake.
Hi, I'm muted because I'm in an open office space, so I'll listen.
Okay.
Hey, if anybody goes to visit Amanda's husband and he pours you some wine, make sure to ask for a straw.
What, a paper straw?
Yeah, because that's better for the environment than plastic.
Yep.
You could get one of those really cool disposable or the straws that you can eat at Starbucks that they came out with right after all that, and they're wrapped in plastic.
Brilliant.
So I just wanted to take a minute and introduce you to my son. He's 4.5, and this is Clay.
Hey, Clay.
Hi,
Hey, Clay, how are you?
Hey.
He's coming in to get his kiss goodnight, so I thought I'd.
Aw.
You don't want to give him nightmares.
Yeah, I kind of do sometimes.
Makes them stronger.
Look at Daddy's friends.
Your friends are weird, Dad.
So we I think made a final decision. My son is a senior in high school this year, and we made a final decision last night that he's going to go spend an academic year in Ireland next year.
All right.
Not with a Rotary program, unfortunately. He's going to go to a rugby academy, but
Where is it?
The trials and tribulations of parenthood.
yeah, it's in Kildare.
Okay.
Oh, wonderful area.
Yeah, it was all
Cool.
definitely. It's definitely self-serving, right? I most certainly want to go drop him off. I might have to go early, go visit the host family in Spain, and then go drop him off.
Make sure you take at least a week there. It's sensational.
That's good to know.
Yeah, Dublin, my wife and I had a wonderful time about 6 weeks ago in Dublin. It's just a fantastic city.
I want to go, as rugby players, my husband and I both play and coach and we ref and stuff. We got a bunch of friends over there for rugby, and I kind of just want to go couch surf, right? Like I want to see real Ireland. I don't want to see. But the boy child is very.
Well,
he's going to have some really
all
cool.
along all along that southern coast around Kildare is real island. It's and the rugby is like beyond football is here.
Yeah.
You're gonna love it.
Yeah,
Take a week for sure.
I'm excited for him. It's a really cool opportunity.
So the other day, my wife and I were talking about the upcoming year, next year, and me being president, and wondering about things like Rotary Exchange with regards to a club like ours. And so I just like to throw it out there that I'm pretty behind youth stuff in general. I realize we probably can't do an exchange, but if we can serve Rotary Exchange or we can do youth stuff in general, I'm looking for ideas to sort of pre-think about. So
Number one, find a Rotary Club that has the program and become a host parent. That's the hardest thing youth exchange clubs have, is finding host parents. Whether it's your club or a club up the street or whatever, become a host parent. It's the best way to learn about the program. That's the only thing I can say about it. It's a wonderful program. I mean, it's fantastic. You'll learn as much as the student will, and just I know we're always looking for host parents, and it is difficult. Whether it's for a week, a month, 3 months, become a host parent.
Bruce, how many times have you been a host parent?
Host parent 6 times. I've been involved with 9 students inbound, and I've been involved with 15 outbounds.
Nice.
So I've been doing this for 7 years now.
Fantastic.
My daughter went to Brazil in 09-10. She's home this week now, and she's going to come, and we're doing interviews for 2 students to go outbound in 19-20 tomorrow night.
And Brian, don't worry about your kids being too young.
Oh, no, I'm not worried about that at all.
Well, no, just that was a lot of the people we had in our club. They wanted kids. They were waiting for their kids to get close to the same age before they wanted to be a host parent. It was like, no, our kids were young and they had a great time.
Yeah, great mentoring system.
Yeah, it's outstanding. I'm just kind of trying to think about how things are going to work on a club level logistically for an online club, because Linda's, she's doing all the learning for us at this point, but I've got to start thinking about projects and how that stuff is going to work. And so
Brian, I had brought up to Jerry originally with an idea that maybe we could host an online for anybody who's inbound before they leave. Try to do like an online question and answer session and get them a chance to ask questions they might have. But easier would be outbounds, right? As they're getting ready to go outbound, maybe we could invite some previous outbounds to participate. I know it's a little tough because we're in so many different time zones, but something that maybe we could do on a Saturday or something, where we could get as many participants as possible.
That's a really good idea.
Because I fortunately had the most amazing host mom in the entire world, but I don't know that I had a real good idea what was going to happen when I got over there.
Did you only have one host family that you stayed with?
I did. I stayed with a single mom who had a teenage daughter in South Carolina and an almost teenage, just a little bit older than teenage daughter there, which was a little bit odd for the area, but they were amazing.
Yeah, because in the district I just switched from every 3 months. They're in one house for I think it was 3 months.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. That would have been tough. It takes 3 months to even get to know a family, and
yeah.
This is true. The point of getting every 3 months, or at least 3 different host families, is that nobody's stuck with anybody for any amount of time if something goes wrong. B, there are more variances of culture from house to house. I mean, some people celebrate Christmas differently than those do down the street. So it just gives the student an opportunity to figure out how some people celebrate Thanksgiving versus Christmas versus Easter. That's the point, as I understand it, that's the point of trying to get 3 different families.
The diversity is good. Yeah, absolutely.
One of the things they do in the district here is it's a YES program. It's Youth Experiencing Service. So Saturday is the last day to apply for that. It's kids that are going into their senior year. They're juniors this year and they're going to be seniors next year, obviously. But then they meet once a month for a year. They have to fundraise. There's a Rotary Club that sponsors them. They do projects. This last one they did it in Honduras. They usually install stoves and then they might help build something. They take the Days for Girls kits down and do education on that. Which if you guys haven't heard of Days for Girls, it's an amazing organization out of Linden, Washington here. And they've been doing that program here just in the district for over 10 years. So they take a group of anywhere from 8 to 12 students down at a time every summer, 10 to 14 days. And that might be something if you're wherever district, if you're close to District 50/50 and the kids can meet those meetings once a month, it'd be a great experience for them because none of those kids come back the same. They're all different. They're
absolutely
amazing when they come back after that 2-week trip.
Linda, is that a summer program?
Well, yeah, they do the trip in the summer. It's about $3,000. So we had 2 kids from our high school go this year. One was sponsored by our club. The other one was sponsored by the Anacortes Club because we didn't have the funds for it. But each club puts up $2,000 and then they have to fundraise the $1,500 extra. And they do a raffle. So the club, Burlington Rotary Club, in the morning, they do something called, what's it called now? Luck of the Irish. And that's a big fundraiser. They sell raffle tickets and then you go and they play this stupid game, but I won one year. And then they just raise the money for that, raise money for stoves. The stoves that they were installing were a couple $100s a piece, but it gets them from using an open fire in their homes. Mm-hmm. And it actually vents the food back outside instead of inside. It's a great program. I'll send a link for it when I send the email out. There are a lot of things we can do. I was in charge of the youth services for District 50/50 the last couple of years.
Yeah, I wish I would have done something like that when I was younger. All my international stuff came from during my adult career instead.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, right?
Yeah, I got to make up for it now.
Yeah. Yes, everybody's so quiet. It's like a group of us. I know Paul's got in an open space. Who haven't we heard? We haven't heard from Rob yet. Howie's quiet.
I'm always quiet.
You're always quiet?
I'm a good listener.
It's good to know. Harold's even quiet.
I'm enjoying life.
How's your house? Did your house survive that, whatever storm it was, Florence?
Yeah, that's north of us.
It was north of you? Okay.
Did you get any rain, Harold?
What's that?
Did you get any rain?
No.
Yeah, we didn't get anything.
No. Very fortunate.
No. We didn't get anything here either. I'm 3.5 hours from Harrell. Nothing.
Nothing.
Nope.
So, Linda, are you familiar with Happy Bucks?
Yes.
I think we could, put some money on deposit and do a Happy Buck when we wanted. What do you think of that?
We could try that. How does the rest of the group feel? We could put Jerry in charge of it. He's not here today.
There you go. The Alameda Club does that, but I don't see the Oakland Club do that.
Yeah, we do it. Well, the club I just moved from, we were doing it, and then they just did it they were passing the mic, and we were doing raffle tickets, which we still do, but we get 3 for $5 now.
We do Make Love in Malden. We do Happy Box.
There's a club up.
50-50. That's the other what we do.
50-50, yeah. What was that, Tom?
If you catch somebody in an article in a newspaper or magazine, it costs them $5.
What if they're in there and they got arrested?
Oh,
$5.
200.
That's it? That ought to be worth at least 20 or 50.
At the club that I was in before I left the United States for medical school, we have
one club in our district that if you don't have a happy buck, you give a buck for the cause. And so they collect $1 from every member every week.
Wow.
I don't know what the cause is.
It's the cause. Come on, John, the cause.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
Anyway, we would watch, and every year for our sustaining, Paul Harris sustaining, we would watch the paper, and anybody that either had a wedding or in the family or bought a new car or anything like that, they would have to ring the bell and then send that money to the foundation. So that's the way we did our Paul Harris sustaining. And then at the end of the year, if the people that didn't ring the bell, they just had to come up and ring the bell. So you
Yeah,
needed
Oakland has ringing the bell for the foundation for the Oakland Rotary Endowment, and that's for scholarships and so on, and it gets matched with funds from National for projects.
Yeah.
I have my makeshift ring the bell. My daughter was married last weekend, so I will chip in $1 for the cause. And I don't know who's keeping track of it, but I'll find $1 here somewhere.
Did your lights go out, Rory and Judy?
No, it's just getting dark here.
Okay.
I
Rory's
have the
the
same
treasurer, so
problem.
maybe we can help. He can help us figure out how to do that the best way.
There's got to be an application that we can use for sending small money, like one of the bank applications, or, I mean, just these applications that we send small money to each other for dinner and that kind of stuff.
Maybe Venmo or something.
Yeah, like Venmo.
Venmo doesn't charge.
What's
us
that
any-
whole?
Venmo, VENMO.
What's that Bitcoin thing? How's that work?
Not a clue.
It doesn't work.
Never mind. Never mind.
We could see if Zoom has a plug-in for some kind of a fundraising tool like that.
That's not a bad idea either.
I accidentally tried to send my boss money the other day using my my iMessage. I didn't realize that was even an option.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like you can send money pretty much anyway. Nobody does it to me, ever.
We'll work on that.
And why is that?
Did get a text from my daughter today asking me to transfer.
What?
Welcome to my world.
Turn the light on, huh?
Yeah, that would be nice. Hey, hey, hey.
Oh boy. Well, anybody have anything else?
We also have the Alzheimer's bucket. We usually have 3 buckets in the club. The Happy Box, the Alzheimer's bucket, and then we have the raffle, the 50-50 that we call it. You have to draw a card in order to get the money. Half of the money goes to the club and half of the money goes to the person.
How's the Alzheimer's one work?
The Alzheimer's one, that's you put all your change there.
It sounded like you said Alzheimer's at first, just FYI. Like, how does that work?
Neat, that's what I thought.
The person goes, I don't remember doing it.
Yeah. We're being recorded, right?
Yeah.
Every time you lose your car, you got to pitch in, in the parking lot. You got to pitch in.
I hate it when that happens. I've never lost my motorcycle, though.
We won't talk about the times I've lost my motorcycle.
When I travel a lot, I always park under the exact same sign at the Denver airport, and I park under the 2P sign because I always have to go to the bathroom when I get there, and then I remember when I come out.
I hope they don't change their signage plan.
I would be totally hosed if they changed their signage.
I can always find my car in a parking lot. Always.
Just
Now I can see what kind of party you have.
Me?
Yeah,
Lime green Jeep Wrangler.
of course.
Aha.
green.
The high vis.
Maybe you're driving a Trojan horse.
Maybe.
So my Wrangler has 210,000 miles on it, and I will probably be getting a new one in December when my boy child gets his driver's license. And I was looking at the existing 2017s, the new ones that they still have on the lot over here, and they're all bright purple. I was like,
No, the purple just didn't do, that was last year's color. It didn't. No, that was just nasty.
but you know what? I kind of figure if December 2018 rolls around and they've still got brand new 17s on the lot, I should be able to name my price on any ugly purple Wrangler, right? Like,
Good. The purple just, I don't know who picked that color, but no.
Always get a skin on it though. Get it, get a dip for the car.
I just own it. I'm just gonna own the purple. I'm just gonna roll with it. My rugby team colors are purple. I'll just pretend like I'm a super fan. It's fine.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah, lime green, can't miss it. Can't get away with anything either. Literally. In this small town, no.
Nobody else can miss it either, right?
Nope, and I get text messages all the time. I just saw you on the freeway. No, you didn't. All right. Let's see.
Question, Linda. How are people texting messages on these?
What's that?
See, messages getting texted, and I can't figure out how to do it. Or does my phone not do that?
Texting? Are
No,
you
yeah, I get messages.
The group chat, you mean?
Yeah, we're all chatting and got multiple participants, and I see texted messages like from Singapore and from Emilio and so forth.
I don't know how you do it on the phone, but on my computer, there's down towards the bottom of the window, there's a chat.
Right.
So Paul had, how many Rotarians does it take to turn on the lights?
Yeah, that was one of the texts.
We could put $10 into our club account and keep track of our happy dollars ourselves until it's time to deposit another $10. Can we create a happy dollar category in our club account?
That's not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea at all. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Rory question.
I'll have to look into it. I'm still getting this stuff figured out that Jerry set up.
I guess I can't do a chat on my cell phone, so I'll wait till next week when I'm on a computer.
Tom, I'm on my phone, and if I want to look at the chats, I have to tap on the screen to get it to show up along the bottom.
Well, if I tap on the screen, I get audio, video, share, participants, more, and I push more.
Click on participants. That's where the chat is.
Participants?
Yeah.
Oh, how about that? All these magic little secrets, and I'm not even guzzling fluids. Okay, good.
All right.
Well, that's why, because I don't have a camera on my computer, so I have to use my phone for a camera. Then I can see the chats, and I can see everybody on my screen. It's easy for me to set it up on the computer, but I don't have a camera.
Are you on iOS, Emilio?
Yes. No, I'm on an Android.
Glenda, what are you running?
iOS.
Okay. I'm going to guess it looks pretty similar from both places.
They do. I run it on Android, and it runs same as it does on my tablet.
Oh, my tablet run it just fine, except the picture is not as in a high definition as it is with the phone.
I think I successfully sent "Got It."
You did.
Yes, you did.
So
Hey,
you
hey.
got it, Tom. You got it.
I feel like a brainchild now.
All right.
See, you can teach dinosaurs new things.
Are you sure it wasn't the dog that sent that message? I think it might have been the dog that sent that.
Somebody wanted to know who my friend was, and I couldn't text back that it was Hava, so I've been going crazy for the last 30 minutes. How do I do this?
That was me that asked that question.
Oh, boy.
Don't feel bad, Tom. I just found the group chat box.
I don't feel alone.
I think there's 3 of you on the call right now. I sent the new full member packets. It's Harold, Amanda, Dave.
There she is.
Yeah, that was a blank application, right?
The blank application.
Well, that you sent out. You
Oh,
sent,
no, that's a different one. The one that, yeah.
so it's just a blank application.
Right. So what I sent out was a new member packet, but you can't open it until October 10th. And it's on the envelope. Because I'll know if you did.
What I'm curious about, Linda, did we ever talk about having a reference to how long you've been riding a motorcycle on the application? Or what type of motorcycle you ride or anything like that?
No,
it is a
we didn't.
requirement. It is a requirement for membership, isn't it, that you ride?
No.
Oh, it's not. Oh, okay. Never mind then.
We described the bikes we have.
Okay. That's good. Then I've
Who
got
was riding the Schwinn?
Who's what?
So yeah, how do you know when? How do you all decide when your bike has reached the point of finishing returns for repairs? I know this much
Service
mileage
engine.
on that.
Parts fall off.
Yeah. Service
When the engine,
Brake don't fall off, you keep it and fix it.
when the engine stops and you're riding, that's another good clue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually had that happen. The little switch that's in the kickstand that's supposed to shut off the engine when it's down,
Mhm.
my kickstand was down.
Ouch.
Oh,
I ended up pushing a Yamaha Vision 550 for 2 miles back home, back in Minnesota because of that. I didn't figure out that it was a kickstand switch.
Oh,
Good thing it's a light bike.
think of the muscles you built up.
Yeah.
I think that's an emotional decision, Scott, more than a technical decision.
Yeah, it's kind of that figuring out if I still like the bike that much. And when everything's working, I do. You know, it's an 07 ST 1300, but it's just had a rash of problems this year. It's only got 73,000, 74,000 on it, so it's not even that old.
How repairs cost as much as a new bike? That's time.
Well, that's the
My
thing.
2003 Harley just spent 7+ weeks in the shop needlessly because the technicians misdiagnosed the problem.
Oh no. What was the problem?
Odometer, speedometer didn't work. Turns out, instead of the odometer, speedometer being bad, as they told me it was, it turned out all it needed was a voltage regulator to send regular voltage to the unit.
Mm-hmm.
Took them better part of weeks to figure that out.
I am not surprised.
Anyway, that's why I now have this BMW that you've heard about.
Because they're more expensive, that's why.
Have you been able to check on the oil level?
Yeah, on the Oh, on the Eureka Springs ride, there was a fellow named Wayne Skoda in the IFMR. He was
At the
riding.
Rotary Inn.
He was riding a BMW, and he got a flashlight and came over and showed me how to check it. So I now know how.
And that check was done at the Rotary Inn stop.
That is correct. You're exactly right.
All right, you guys, it's 4:59. Who wants to do the four-way test?
4:59. It's 7:59.
That 4:59 my time, 7:59 your time.
Harold looks like a truthful
All right.
guy.
I'll kick it off here. The version I have might, out of the phrasing, might be slightly different. I pulled this off the web, so correct me if it's not what you're familiar
I
with.
do live in California.
Well,
Okay.
you know, California, everything's a little different.
Yeah.
All right, the four-way test. Is it the truth?
Is it fair to all
Is
concerned?
it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all? And number 5.
Will it be fun?
Fun.
In California, don't you have to add dude to it?
About 30 years ago, maybe.
Surf's dude.
It's raw now. Come on, guys.
Good night.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
been fun. Good night. See you all next week.
Guys,
Guys.
Yeah.